Welcome to Tungal College online classes. Hello students, how are you all? Today I am going to start another important topic of chemical bonding by the name is bond parameters. There are different types of bond parameters. They are, the first one is bond length, and the second one is bond order, third one is bond enthalpy, and the fourth one is bond angle. Let us write them. The first one, bond length. Second one, bond order. Third one, bond enthalpy. And the fourth one, bond angle. So these are the four bond parameters. Let us discuss one by one in detail. Among them, the first one is bond length. Bond length. The bond length is defined as the equilibrium distance between the two bonded atoms in a molecule is called as bond length. Let us understand what is exact meaning of bond length by taking a general example. I am taking a chlorine molecule. So let us understand what is the meaning of bond length by taking chlorine molecule. Before going to that, first we have to understand what is the meaning of atomic radius. So this is an atom, its nucleus. An atom, its nucleus. The distance from the center of the nucleus to outermost energy level where the electron is located. This distance is called as atomic radius. I am labeling as it as R. The distance between the center of the nucleus to outermost energy level where the electron is located. This distance we have to call as atomic radius, labeled as R. Now coming to here, chlorine molecule, there are two chlorine atoms. So this is one chlorine and this is another chlorine. Both have a bonded by a single covalent bond. Single bond is there. So write these two chlorines. This is the first chlorine. This is the first chlorine, and this is the second chlorine atom. This is the second. First chlorine, second chlorine. This is the nucleus of one chlorine, and this is the nucleus of another chlorine. From nucleus to outermost energy level where the electron is located, this from here to this is outermost level, this distance we have to label as RCl, radius of one chlorine atom. I am labeling as RCl. And from here to here, this nucleus to this outermost energy level, distance is also called as atomic radius of another chlorine atom. So R is atomic radius of chlorine atom. This total distance from this nucleus to this nucleus, this total distance I am labeling as R. So what the point understand, the total distance R is equal to radius of one chlorine plus radius of another chlorine. So this is bond length. So here is R is the bond length and R is the radii of chlorine atom. So R is equal to bond length. R is equal to bond length. R is equal to RCl is equal to radii of atomic radii of chlorine. Atomic radii of chlorine. So by taking this we can define these are the two nucleus. This is one nuclei, this is one nuclei, and this is another nuclei. Another nuclei. So by taking this we can define the bond length as the equilibrium distance between nuclei of two bonded atoms in a molecule is called as a bond length. So equilibrium distance between nuclei of two bonded atoms in a molecule is called as a bond length. Let us write the definition. So definition of bond length: the equilibrium distance between two bonded atoms in a molecule is called bond length, is called bond length. So this is the definition of bond length. And we can take another definition here is covalent radius. We are taking here is covalent molecule. This radius also is called as a covalent radii. So how do we take the covalent radii? This is the nucleus of an atom. This is the nucleus of an atom. This total distance is bond length. So total distance. From this total distance, if you want to get the radius of one atom, there are two atoms. So the total distance is from here to here. So one atom radius we have to get. So how to get one atom radius? We have to take half of the distance. So from here to this half from here. This distance we have to call it as a covalent radius. So half of the distance between the two bonded atoms, half of the distance between the two bonded atoms in a molecule joined by a covalent bond is called as a covalent radius. Let us write the sentence. Covalent radius definition. Covalent radius. How to define? We are taking from the total distance, we are taking just half of the distance. Half of the distance we have to call it as a covalent radius. Half of the distance between two same atoms, similar atoms in a two same atoms joined by a covalent bond, in a molecule. Is called covalent radius. Half of the distance between the two same atoms joined by a covalent bond. These are the similar atoms. The both atoms are joined by a covalent bond. This half of the distance we are calling as a covalent radius. And one more we have, this is the covalent radius is measured, bond length is, we have to measure in a same molecule, within one molecule. And atomic radius for the one atom, half of the distance we are taking. So if you take another molecule, two different molecules, this is one molecule, this is one chlorine molecule and this is another chlorine molecule. If you take two chlorine atoms, in between the two molecules, the force of attraction nothing but van der Waals force of attraction. So we have to define a van der Waals radius. So I am taking one more chlorine molecule. So this is one chlorine atom and this is another chlorine atom. Right, this is the nucleus of one chlorine, this is the nucleus of another chlorine. This is one Cl2 molecule, clear, one molecule. I am taking another molecule, this is another Cl2 molecule, two different molecules I am taking. Between the two different molecules we are finding the radius. Then this is a nucleus of one atom in one molecule, this is the nucleus of another atom in another molecule. Then this distance we have to take. Distance between the nuclei of, this is the distance between the nuclei of two bonded atoms, so in a separate molecule. Then from this we have to take half of the distance. From here to here, this is the half. This half of the distance is called as a van der Waals radius. Van der Waals radius. Right? We can write the sentence regarding the van der Waals radius. The van der Waals radius is defined as half of the distance between the two same atoms in a different molecules, in a separate molecules is called as a van der Waals radius. Van der Waals radius. So definition, that half of the distance between two same atoms, similar atoms, same atoms, same type of atoms. So half of the distance between two same type of atoms in a separate molecule. Separate molecules is called van der Waals radius. Van der Waals radius. Then what is the difference you find? What is the difference between the covalent radius and van der Waals radius? Covalent radius is the half of the distance between the two bonded atoms in a joined by covalent bonds. Within the one molecule we will find the covalent radius. But van der Waals radius is not within the one molecule. We have to find the van der Waals radius between the two molecules. That too we have to take half of the distance. This is van der Waals radius, covalent radius and van der Waals radius. So this is the information regarding the bond length. Next one is bond order. Bond order is defined as the number of bonds between the two atoms in a molecule is called as a bond order. Let us understand what is exact meaning of bond order by taking some examples. I am taking an example Cl2 molecule, chlorine. Then Cl in between the two chlorine atoms one single bond is present. Then in this case the bond order that is equal to 1. Bond order in the Cl2 molecule is equal to 1 because the Cl2 molecule contains only one bond. I am taking another example O2 molecule. In O2 molecule, between the two oxygens there is a double bond. Number of bonds between the two atoms is how many will be there? 2. Bond order is equal to 2. And I am taking another example N2 molecule. N triple bond N. Clear? Then number of bonds 1, 2, 3. The bond order is equal to 3. So one molecule, this chlorine molecule has one bond between two atoms. Oxygen molecule between the two atoms, two bonds, bond order is equal to. In nitrogen molecule between the two nitrogen atoms, 1, 2, 3, 3 bonds is present. The bond order is equal to 3. So the same sentence we have to write. What is the sentence? The number of bonds between two atoms in one molecule. That number of bonds is called as a bond order. Let us write the definition. So definition of bond order. The number of bonds between two atoms. The number of bonds between two atoms in a molecule is called bond order. Is called bond order. Now we have to find out some relation between the bond order and bond length. Now in Cl2 molecule, one chlorine between the two chlorines only one single bond is there. I am writing here is bond length. Bond length in this case, one chlorine bond length between the two chlorine atoms will be taken as 198 picometers. The bond length is 198 picometers. In the case of oxygen, the bond length is equal to 121 picometers. The bond length is 121. And between the two nitrogen atoms, the bond length is 109 picometers. So bond length in a Cl2 molecule is 198, oxygen molecule between the two oxygen atoms, so the bond length in a O2 molecule is 121 picometers. In N2 molecule, the bond length between the two nitrogen atoms is 109 picometers. Now what is the thing you understand from by looking at bond length and bond order? Bond order is 1, bond length is 198. Bond order value is going to get what? 1, 2, 3 increases here. Bond order values are going to get increases. What about the bond length values are decreases. Then what is the sentence we have to write? When bond orders increases, with increasing in the bond orders, bond lengths are decreases. The same sentence we have to write. The increase with increase in a bond order, with increase in bond order, the bond length With increasing in bond order, what about the bond length value, sir? Decreases. Bond length decreases. What my point is, chlorine molecule has one bond, its bond length is 198. Then oxygen molecule, oxygen is 2, bond order is 2 bonds will be there. Nitrogen molecule 3 bonds is there. So from chlorine to nitrogen, bond order value is going to get increased 1, 2, 3. Now the bond length values we have to take. In this case 198 to 121 as well as 100 picometers. So compare the bond order and bond length. We are comparing these two parameters. Bond order and bond length. Bond order value is going to get increases. Then what about the bond length values are decreases. So with increasing in the bond order, bond length is decreases. This is a bond order. The bond order is defined as the number of bonds between the two atoms in a molecule is called as a bond order. Next topic is bond enthalpy. The bond enthalpy is defined as the amount of energy required to break 1 mole of bonds of a particular type between two atoms in a gaseous state is called as bond enthalpy. Let us understand what is exact meaning of bond enthalpy by taking some examples. The first one I am taking H2 molecule. H2 molecule in gaseous state we have to take. Then we have to break the bond between two hydrogen atoms. So hydrogen has a H bond H, right? So we have to break this bond. We have to break this bond between the two hydrogen atoms. To break this bond, some amount of energy is required. Then we are going to get two hydrogen atoms in a gaseous state. So hydrogen and this is another hydrogen. The amount of energy we liberated in this case is that is equal to 435.8 kilojoule per mole. So to break 1 mole of bonds between the hydrogen atoms, we required amount of energy is 435.8 kilojoule per mole. Here I am labeling as delta A standard condition of enthalpy. So this A represents enthalpy of atomization. That means H2 is a molecule. Molecules are converting into atoms. So the amount of energy required for this case we are taking as enthalpy of atomization. A meaning is atomization. Molecule converting into atoms. Now I am taking another example of oxygen molecule in gaseous state. Then between the two oxygen atoms there is a double bond, O double bond O. Then we are going to get two oxygen atoms in a gaseous state. So this is another oxygen. Then enthalpy of atomization, that is equal to 498 kilojoule per mole. To break the 1 mole of bonds between the two oxygen atoms, 498 kilojoules of energy is required. This is the meaning. Then I am taking N2 molecule, N triple bond N. Clear? Gives rise to N gaseous state atom and we get another nitrogen atom. The energy required to break this bond, enthalpy of atomization in standard condition is equal to 946 kilojoule per mole. This meaning is to break the 1 mole of bonds between the two nitrogen atoms, 946 kilojoules per mole energy is required. So this is the energy required to break bonds between the atoms. The amount of, by taking this we can define the amount of energy required to break the bonds between the atoms of a particular type in a molecule. That energy is called as a bond dissociation, is called as a bond enthalpy. Let us write a definition. The amount of energy required to break, the amount of energy required to break 1 mole of bonds, 1 mole of particular 1 mole of bonds, 1 mole of bonds of a particular type between two atoms, in gaseous state. In gaseous state is called bond enthalpy. Is called bond enthalpy. I think got what is the meaning of bond enthalpy. Bond enthalpy nothing but some amount of energy required to break bonds between. We have to break these bonds. To break these bonds, some amount of energy is required. That energy is nothing but bond enthalpy. In the case of polyatomic molecules, we have to calculate average bond enthalpy. Average bond enthalpy. So what is the meaning of average bond enthalpy? So let us understand by taking one general example. I am taking water molecule. I am taking H2O. Right, between the oxygen and hydrogen there is one single bond. So water molecule we can write as oxygen, oxygen, H, and this is another hydrogen. Oxygen, hydrogen, hydrogen. First we have to break this bond. When this bond is broken, then the chemical environment around this OH bond is going to get changes. So this when one bond is broken, the environment around the chemical environment around this OH bond is going to get changes. So that the bond maybe value will be different. This bond enthalpy, this bond enthalpy may not be the same. So that we have to take average value. So first I am taking H2O molecule. H2O molecule. First I am breaking one bond, this bond. In gaseous state we have taken. That gives rise to H in gaseous state plus we are going to get OH in gaseous state. Clear? OH will get. Then the energy required for this case is will be taken as that is equal to 502 kilojoule per mole. The energy required for this case is 502 kilojoule per mole. Then I am taking OH bond. I am taking OH. Remaining is what we have is OH. This bond also we have to break. So we are going to get H gaseous state plus oxygen is in gaseous state. The enthalpy of atomization for this case is 427 kilojoule per mole. 427 kilojoule per mole. So this bond has a bond enthalpy 502 kilojoule per mole. This bond has a enthalpy 427 kilojoule per mole. So in these two cases we have to take average value. So how to get the average value? The total bond enthalpy, this is the total bond enthalpy. The total bond enthalpy is divided by the number of bonds broken. So what is the total value? This is 9 to 9 kilojoule per mole. The total bond enthalpy is divided by the total number of bonds is broken. How many number of bonds broken? 1, 2. So first write the sentence. First calculate it. The total bond enthalpy is 929 by how many number of bonds is broken? This is the first bond, this is the second bond. The number of bonds broken is equal to 2. So that is equal to how much you will get? This is 4, 6, 4.5 kilojoule per mole. So this is the 464.5 kilojoules of more energy required for to break a bond. This is a average bond enthalpy. Average bond enthalpy. So how to get the average bond enthalpy? The average bond enthalpy is obtained by dividing the total bond dissociation enthalpy by number of bonds broken. It is sentence regarding it. It is obtained by dividing total bond dissociation enthalpy by total number of bonds broken. So this is the method to calculate a bond dissociation for the polyatomic molecules, nothing but we have to calculate average bond enthalpy. And another important point is we have to find the relationship between the bond length, bond order and bond enthalpy. Now look at here. Bond order, H2 molecule, what is the bond order we have? So bond order is equal to 1. Bond order is equal to 1 in H2 molecule. And O2 molecule, bond order is equal to how much we got? O2 molecule, bond order is equal to how much we got? 2. And N2 molecule, bond order is equal to how much we got? That is equal to 3. So bond order is equal to 1, 2, 3. Clear? Then look at the bond order 1, 2, 3. Bond order value is going to get increases. Bond order increases. What about the bond enthalpies? 435, 498, 4946. Values are going to get increases. Bond order increases. Number of bonds between the two atoms increases. One bond, 2 bonds, 3 bonds. The bond order increases. The bond dissociation enthalpy is going to get increases. Bond order increases, bond dissociation enthalpy or nothing but bond enthalpy is going to get increases. And relationship between the bond order and bond length we learned. Bond order increases, previously we discussed, bond length is going to get decreases. So what is the relation? Bond order is inversely proportional to the bond length and bond order is directly proportional to the bond enthalpy. So this is information regarding the bond enthalpy. Next topic is bond angle. The bond angle is defined as the angle between the orbitals containing bonding electron pairs around the central atom in a molecule or complex ion is called as a bond angle. Let us understand the exact meaning of bond angle by taking some examples. For understanding purpose, I am taking beryllium chloride, BeCl2 molecule. Right, between the beryllium and chlorine there is one single bond like this. And this is the bonding pair electron, this is the bonding pair electrons. So we have to take angle between them. So angle we can take as how much this is the angle? This is 180 degrees. 180 degrees. This angle is called as a bond angle. Angle between the two bonding pair electrons in a molecule. Let us take one more example. I am taking BF3. BF3. So boron present at the center. Then fluorine, this is first fluorine, this is the second fluorine and this is another fluorine. The angle between these two, this angle is called as bond angle. The angle will be taken as how much we will get? 120 degrees. The angle between any two fluorines will be taken as 120 degrees. Angle between these cases is 180 degrees. You can take one more example. I am taking a CH4 molecule. Then carbon present at the center. Then there are 4 hydrogens. This is the first hydrogen, second, third and this is fourth hydrogen. So all hydrogens have the bond angle, any two hydrogens you can take, the bond angle between them is 109 degrees 28 minutes. So this is the bond angle between any two hydrogens. Angle between orbitals containing, bonding pair electrons and around the central atom in a molecule is called as a bond angle. Let us write the sentence. The angle between orbitals containing bonding electron pairs around the central atom in a molecule or a complex ion is called bond angle. This is the definition for bond angle. The bond angle is defined as the angle between any two atoms, the angle between orbitals containing bonding electrons around the central atom in a molecule is called as a bond angle. This is information regarding bond angle. Next topic is lattice enthalpy. The lattice enthalpy is defined as the energy required to separate 1 mole of solid ionic compound into gaseous constant ions. So let us understand what is the exact meaning of lattice enthalpy by taking an example. I am taking sodium chloride NaCl in a solid state and I am taking that to 1 mole. 1 mole I took. And I have to convert this NaCl into Na plus ion in gaseous state and Cl minus ion in gaseous state. That we are taking 1 mole of NaCl, we will get 1 mole of Na plus ion and 1 mole of Cl minus ion. So to convert 1 mole of solid NaCl into 1 mole of Na plus and 1 mole of Cl minus, the energy required is 788 kilojoule per mole. This is amount 788 kilojoules for mole energy required to separate 1 mole of solid ionic compound into 1 mole of Na plus ions and 1 mole of Cl minus ion. This we are calling as lattice enthalpy. So let us write the sentence. The energy required to separate the 1 mole of solid ionic compound into its ions is called as lattice enthalpy. The energy required to separate 1 mole of solid ionic compound into gaseous constant ions is called lattice enthalpy. Right, let us look into the structure of NaCl. The single NaCl molecule does not exist. NaCl in NaCl compound in solid state, Na plus ions surrounded by the Cl minus ions, Cl minus ions surrounded by the Na plus ions. That means cations are surrounded by the anions, anions are surrounded by the cations in three-dimensional way. So let us look into the three-dimensional structure of NaCl. Structure of NaCl. Right, first I am drawing the three-dimensional structure. Right, this is the structure of NaCl. Let us look into the where the Na plus ions is present and where the Cl minus is present. So we have to take chlorine ions at the corner, Cl minus, then opposite in charge we have to write Cl minus, in sense we have to write Na plus. So positive and we have to take negative. So positive and negative charges are attracted by the electrostatic force of attraction. Then Cl minus we have to take here is Na plus, Cl minus. Like that we have to arrange Na plus. Here we will get Cl minus. So like that we have to arrange all the cases similar way. Na plus, Cl minus, plus. Here is Cl minus, here is Cl minus, here is Na plus. Similarly we have to arrange here is Na plus, Cl minus, Na plus. Here is Cl minus, Na plus, Cl minus. Na plus, Cl minus, Na plus. So this is a arrangement of positive ions and negative ions. That means Na plus ions and Cl minus in a molecule. If you look at this structure, suppose I am taking this sodium plus. The sodium plus ion is surrounded by Cl minus, Cl minus, Cl minus, Cl minus on the this side and here. Top is Cl minus and bottom also has a Cl minus. That means cations, positive ions is surrounded by the negative ions. If we take negative ion, this negative ion, positive positive, positive, and this is the positive. So negative ions are surrounded by the positive ions, positive ions are surrounded by the negative ions in a compound. So we have to take a solid ID compound structures in a three-dimensional way. The cations and anions are arranged in a three-dimensional way. Right? This is a lattice enthalpy. We will continue the next class with another topic of chemical bonding.